Hello, in this video I'm going to talk about how I chose a new dust extractor, and I'll cover setting it up and my first impressions. But first I want to explain why I needed to buy a new dust extractor. If you'd like to skip that and go straight to the part about choosing which one I bought, then you may want to skip ahead to this time on screen now. Why I needed a new extractor. So currently I'm using 3 extractors in my workshop. A pneumatic NVD750 with a HEPA filter, which is connected up to a cyclone, and then I have ducts and blast gates leading to my miter saw, my belt and disc sander, and a vacuum hose where I hook up handheld power tools like my track saw and random orbit sander. I also have a blast gate and a hose to my table saw, but more on that later. The second extractor I use is this fantastic Milwaukee backpack vac, which I use for clearing up dust from the floor of my workshop and also the work surfaces. And that thing is fantastic. And the third extractor is this Record Power DX1000, which I only really bought for use with my planer thicknesser, as it has a large 100mm hose for the large amount of chips that the planer creates. All 3 of those extractors are LVHP, which is low volume high pressure vacuum extractors. When I recently purchased a new table saw, the Axminster AT254SB, I have a separate review video all about that by the way, which I'll link to in the description box, I quickly discovered that my pneumatic extractor doesn't deliver enough airflow to collect dust effectively from it. I was getting a lot of dust in the air, on the surface of the table and underneath the saw when I was making cuts using it hooked up to the pneumatic. The table saw requires a minimum of 1000 cubic meters per hour and the pneumatic only delivers about 300. Because my table saw has dust ports connecting to both the cabinet at the bottom and the crown guard above the blade, my temporary solution was to hook up the pneumatic to the crown guard only, and I used my DX1000 to extract from the cabinet. And that was much more effective at collecting dust, but it wasn't a good permanent solution for 2 reasons. One, the DX1000 has a low airflow too of only around 190 cubic meters per hour. And 2, it's pretty loud and I really don't like using loud tools in my workshop. In order to get effective dust extraction at the table saw, I needed a different type of extractor capable of pulling more air, an HVLP extractor rather than an LVHP. And I'm not going to talk too much about the differences between the two, mainly because I'm not an expert on the subject. But to summarise what I've learned about it in a very simple way, HVLP with its high airflow is best for larger machinery with large dust ports, like the table saw with its 100mm port. And LVHP extractors with their low airflow but high velocity are better at pulling dust from smaller machines with smaller ports. Now, I'm very happy with my pneumatic extractor and the ducted system I have. It performs very well and it runs quietly, so I definitely want to keep that. So I decided what would be the best solution for my workshop would be to get rid of the DX1000 and get a new HVLP extractor for use with both the table saw and also the planer thicknesser, which will not only deliver the airflow required for both machines, but it'll also be less loud and it will provide better capacity for storing chips and dust generated by the planer, as the DX1000 filled up very quickly and needed emptying too often. One final thing to mention before talking about choosing an extractor is that I plan to continue using the pneumatic to extract from the crown guard on the table saw, because that works really effectively, and it also means that with the hose connected to my ducting as it is currently, the hose is up and out of the way while I'm making cuts, and I much prefer that to having the hose connected to the hook on the fence before going down to the dust port on the back of the saw cabinet. So that means that the new HVLP extractor will only need to extract from the cabinet of the saw rather than the cabinet and the crown guard. Phew, I hope all that made sense. Sorry if it was long-winded, but I thought it'd be useful to explain. Now, on to choosing the new extractor. The main priorities for me in choosing the right extractor for my workshop, in order of importance from most important to least important, were: number 1, size. I wanted something as small and compact as possible, because with a larger HVLP style extractor, I'm not simply going to be able to tuck it underneath a work surface somewhere. It's going to be taking up floor space, and I want it to take up as little space as possible. The area I had in mind was this space in the corner near my other extractor. That way it's close to the table saw and not too far away from the planer. I also ideally wanted it to not block my window. 2, price. When I bought my new table saw recently, I hadn't planned on spending more money for an extractor as well, so while I want to get a decent quality machine, I don't want to spend loads of money on it. The budget I had in mind was around £300, but I'd be happy to spend up to £500. Number 3, noise. As I mentioned earlier, I have a strong dislike for noisy tools, so I wanted the Extractor to be as quiet as possible. And number 4, power. I knew I needed a minimum of 1 horsepower to achieve the 1000 cubic meters per hour airflow needed for my table saw, and I don't intend on using a long run of ducting with it, so I'm only going to be using it connected up to one machine at a time. But if there was an opportunity to get more power for my money, perhaps 1.5, 2 or even 3 horsepower, then that would be even better. But also, and perhaps most important of all, was that I wanted an Extractor with one of those cartridge style filters rather than a bag filter, because my lungs are important to me and I don't want to be breathing in the fine dust particles that the bag style filters tend to let out into the air. I was open to the idea of buying an Extractor second hand, but there weren't really any that I could find that were available at the time that suited my needs, so I started looking at buying new. As usual, when I'm trying to decide what I want to buy, I made a spreadsheet where I can list all of the models and specs and then color code it using a traffic light system, which just helps me to visualize the good, green, the bad, red, and the average, amber, for each machine. And some of the Extractors that made the list didn't come with a cartridge filter as standard. However, most, if not all of them, have generic sizes, which means that I could simply buy a cartridge filter for them separately and fit it myself. Making a spreadsheet like this often makes a buying decision really simple and easy for me. However, in this instance, after looking at all of the data carefully, it really just made me realize that if I wanted a small and compact Extractor, then I wasn't going to be able to have anything more powerful than 1 horsepower. Initially, I really liked the idea of having a wall-mounted Extractor because of how small they are, so I was looking at the Axminster AT50E. That was the only wall-mounted option I could find that came with a cartridge filter. It's small, it's quiet, and it seems pretty good value for money too. However, I later decided that it'd be useful to be able to wheel the Extractor closer to the planer thicknesser, so I ultimately ruled that one out. If you're interested in this Extractor though, it'd be foolish of me not to mention the fact that I have an Axminster affiliate link down in the description box below, and if you click the link and buy something, you'll pay the usual price, and I'll also earn a small commission from Axminster, which helps to support my channel. And you can use that link to buy anything you like on the Axminster website, and I will still earn a commission. So thank you. As is often the case when looking at a number of different machines, I soon realised that a number of them appeared to be the same or very similar, meaning they are probably made in the same place to the same or very similar specifications and then painted and branded differently depending on the company that is selling them. For example, the Axminster AT60E and Charnwood W796 appear similar in both appearance and spec. And the Charnwood W691, Fox F50842, iTech DC001 and Draper 153L do too. One of the biggest frustrations when you're trying to shop for something from the comfort of your own armchair is that there's often a lot of information that's either missing or incorrect on websites. For example, one didn't even list the size of the machine. For many others, I couldn't find decibel ratings or capacity of the dust bags. But as noise level is one of the most important factors for me, not knowing the decibel level was enough for me to rule out a few of these models. And while I'm at it, I can rule a few more of these out just for being too noisy based on the decibel ratings. Before I tell you which Extractor I went for, I thought it'd be good to talk about what the best options would be for those with different priorities than mine. For example, if power and airflow are most important to you, the best option here would probably be to get the SIP 3 horsepower Extractor along with a 500mm cartridge filter. And by the way, thanks to Jack Asprey for confirming in the comments section that that was an option. If I wanted a dust extractor for aesthetics, then the Laguna B Flux is in my opinion the best looking, but let's remember this is a machine that's collecting sawdust. It doesn't need to look like a sports car. It is the smallest extractor on the list though, which is impressive, but it doesn't deliver 1000 cubic meters per hour, so that's why I ultimately ruled it out. And if best value for money is top priority to you, then the Charnwood W696CF seems like a brilliant option for a 1 horsepower machine. If you wanted a little more power, then you could go for the 2 horsepower Charnwood W691CF. Those seem to be the best deals around at this point in time. So now let's cut a long story short. In the end, I came to the conclusion that either the Axminster AT60E or the Charnwood W796CF were the best options for me. Both had the cartridge style filters, Both were very small and compact when compared with the other options. Both have quiet motors, and they were similarly priced at the time I was looking. The only things that separated these two extractors based on the information that I could find on the websites is that the Axminster seemed to have a lower airflow, even though the motors have the same power rating, which seems unusual. I guess one of them is wrong, who knows? The Axminster also appears to be much wider than the Charnwood according to the dimensions on the website, but again, I suspect one of those websites is wrong, and looking at the figures I suspect it's the Axminster website that's incorrect here. Also, the Charnwood comes with a 100mm hose, whereas the Axminster does not. The Axminster model has an NVR switch, whereas the Charnwood does not, but that doesn't really bother me too much for a dust extractor. So based on the information available, the Charnwood appeared to be the better option, offering more bang for similar buck. Now, in all fairness, I suspect that they are both very similar, if not exactly the same in terms of performance, but an extra 100mm dust hose might come in handy, so I ordered the Charnwood. It arrived a couple of days later and assembly was very easy. The manual was pretty bad. For example, it refers to a screwdriver all the time when what it actually means is a spanner. But it was so easy and intuitive to put together that the manual just wasn't really needed. So I just hooked up the dust collector to the table saw and just turned the dust collector on just to see if it would extract anything from the saw while the saw was off. And it actually sucked up a fair bit of dust. So that's already confirmed to me that this extractor is going to do a much better job than the LVHP vacuum extractor that I was using. I'm also very impressed with how small and compact it is. As you can see, space isn't going to be an issue here at all. This handle mechanism is attached to a paddle on the inside of the filter, and when you twist it, it clears all the dust off the filter and all of the dust drops into the bag below. I decided to set up some ducting from the extractor to the table saw, so I bought some of this 100mm pipe and fittings from an online electrical retailer. The fittings are quite loose in the pipe, so I used gaffer tape to make them airtight, and the flexible hose can be secured to the fittings with hose clamps. One other thing to mention is that I didn't use any 90-degree fittings. Instead, I used two 45-degree fittings with a small length of pipe in between, and not having those sharp corners in the ducting will definitely help with airflow too. These clips are used to secure the pipe to the wall, although they're not very heavy duty to be honest, so I may replace these later with something a bit more fit for purpose. And I used the same clips to secure the pipe to the concrete floor. I used my SDS drill to drill a hole, then I added a roll plug, and I could secure them with screws. So that's the ducting in. As you can see, I've got a bit of flexible hose connected up to the machine, then it goes to the pipe, which is clipped to the wall and also clipped to the floor, and then a bit more flexible pipe leading to the table saw. This is a bit longer than I'd like it to be, but I do move the table saw around from time to time depending on what cuts I'm making, so it's pretty much as short as I can make it. This could obviously be a bit of a trip hazard, I just need to remember it's there. I might have to box it in at some point depending on how these clips hold up over time. In terms of noise, I wouldn't say it was loud, but I wouldn't say it was quiet either. It makes kind of like a low hum noise. Nothing like that high-pitched annoying whine of the DX1000. I'll switch it on and show you. And this is me talking in my normal voice, just so you can gauge how loud it is. Obviously it's early days, but in terms of performance, I'm really happy with the extractor so far. Very little dust underneath the saw cabinet after making a few cuts. Very few dust particles in the air according to my air quality monitor, and very little dust left on the table too after making a few cuts. There is a bit of dust that spits out in front of the blade as the blade exits the cut, but I think that's pretty much standard no matter what table saw and no matter what extractor you're using with it. The only thing left for me to sort out now is to get some kind of remote control set up so that I can turn the extractor on and off from the table saw rather than having to walk to it each time. And I'm going to have a chat to my mate who's an electrician who set up the remote control on my pneumatic extractor, so hopefully he can do some sort of similar thing for the new one. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful. Please subscribe to my channel for more weekly woodworking videos. If you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so via Patreon, PayPal, or via YouTube channel membership. Links to all of those are down below. And with Patreon and channel membership, you can also get early access to my videos, exclusive content, free project plans and cut lists, and a name credit at the end of my videos. Thank you for watching.